Hello then, and welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd do something slightly different. I've had a load of Astra Militarum or old Imperial Guard vehicles for years and years, and they were really clean looking. They were just painted in a basic way and just just highlighted normally, but very clean, as if they just rolled off the factory floor. So what I decided to do was weather them up a little bit, and this is kind of what I've ended up with. So here's the first one, which is a Chimera. Hopefully that is in focus and you can see it okay. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so there's the first one. Give you a quick spin round what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, I painted these models in probably about 1999, maybe 2000. I remember my eldest son, who's now 19, nearly 20, had only just been born. He was like a newborn baby while I was painting these. Yeah, that's kind of how old these models are, but I think they're still okay. I think just by weathering them up like that, I've given them a bit of a new lease of life. So that's the first one. Now, the way I've weathered these up is watch loads of tutorials and things online, and it's basically use a piece of sponge. You just rip it so it's a nice rough sort of shape, and then get your paint, whatever paint it is, and you just dab it on. So the first thing I did was I used a bit of German grey as like the undercoat colour. I'm not sure how well you can see it. It's come out. Yeah, just where you can see the paint chips there. It was done with grey first. They're like really dark grey. It's almost black. Just dabbed it on with a sponge here and there. Where the paint's been worn off, and then using the sponge again, bit of chainmail, or what's it called now, lead belcher, is it the modern equivalent. So dab that on with the sponge as well. Then while I was at it, a few areas, such as where it's really prominent scratches, I actually use a brush just to emphasise where the big scratches are, like here and down at the front there. So I've got some paint chips on, and then I wanted to get some scratches on there as well. So using the game colour Goblin Green, again using a brush, just very watered down paint, but you can see where the scratches are running along the sides there. Yeah, just put a few scratches on places where you think the vehicle might get scratched. So along the side panels where they were driving between buildings or whatever, paint's been scratched, but it's quite superficial scratches. That's what I was after. You see one quite clear there, look, on the side. Yeah, and then the next thing I did was to weather all the tracks and stuff, because all the tracks and everything and the underneath was just green. There was no weathering at all on there. So I, using a sponge again, I used Game Colour Earth, that one, and just dabbed the sponge on everywhere, quite rough, so it's kind of bled over onto the fenders, I suppose, all around the bottom. You can see there, underneath, at the back as well. Yeah, so using the sponge, got all that on there, and then I gave the whole thing, well, not the whole thing, but all the tracks and underneath a good coat of Seraphim Sepia. Now you have got to let that dry fully. It took about an hour or so to completely dry, and then using the sponge again just to highlight it, I used Iraqi Sand Model Colour, again with a sponge, a bit lighter, just around the tracks and things, just to add a bit more definition to it. I hope you can see that okay. The lighting isn't the best, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Last thing I did was, you see where the little streaks are, the rust streaks, just running down the sides there. There's one there, there's one at the top there, you can see quite clear, just there. Bit on the front there that you can see. I just use the Model Air rust. It's quite thinned down already because it's designed for an airbrush, but I thinned it down even more and put a couple of layers just to build it up, just with the streaks coming down. These are old vehicles that have been on the front line for a while. Yeah, and that's kind of the effect I ended up with. Yeah, so there's the first one. Let's stick into the back. The next one I did was this one. There's another one. Same process. Just battered it up a bit. Maybe not quite so much damage on the front of this one. You can see the rust streaks a little bit better on this one actually, slightly clearer. Chips inside. Yeah. These are for my Valhallans that I've shown you before on the channel. Yeah. There's a second one. Park him over there. And then the last one I've done, or the most recent one I did, was my Hellhound. So same treatment really. Mucked it all up. Made sure I went over the decals as well to try and blend it all in a bit. And just dirtied him up really. There he is. Give a quick view on the top. There we go. So plenty of chipping and stuff around the hatch where the crew have been getting in and out, and on the engine deck at the back, and fuel cans. I did a bit of black there to show where the fuel for the flamethrower has been getting filled up and it's leaked a bit. Yeah, I think it looked a lot better than what they did, to be honest. Yeah, let me know what you think. Is it something you do with your vehicles? Do you weather them all up, or do you always have them factory fresh? I mean, my ones were factory fresh really, and didn't really look right, if I'm honest. There we go. There's my three vehicles I've got done so far. So I've got 3 Lehman Russ tanks to do, and a load of Sentinels and things like that, and I'll weather them all up the same. Yeah, so there you go, something a little bit different. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks very much for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.